What's up, guys? Happy National Science Week to each and every one of you out there. What better way to celebrate than with the Street Science crew? We are going to have an epic day today, so let's head inside and meet the team. And here I am today with Laura from Street Science. Hello, Laura.
Hey, Pri, how are you doing? Thanks for having me out today.
We are so excited to be here, guys, at the Street Science Studios to celebrate National Science Week. How epic is that?
So exciting.
Yes.
Best time of the year.
Well, we've actually had some questions sent in from our friends at the Queensland Children's Hospital. So hello to everyone watching. Now, they want to know all about science, all of these crazy things. Why do these things happen? And Laura is the professional. So she is going to give us the 411, the experiments, the explanations. It's going to be epic. Laura, are you ready for your first question?
I am ready.
Alrighty, let's hear it, guys.
Hello, my name is Dylan. What makes the wind blow?
Okay, well, if we're going to start thinking about the way the wind blows, we actually need to start thinking about the sun. The sun, a great big ball of chemically reacting gas, sending heat down to the earth. But the earth, it only gets that heat on one side. We have daytime on one side of the earth, we have nighttime on the other side of the earth. So we have uneven heating. Hot air rising, cold air sinking, all of this movement creates the wind. Now, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm sure there are kids that would absolutely love to learn how to make their very own cloud in a bottle at home. We've got all the materials to teach you guys how to do it. Can't wait to get into it with you. Let's get it set up.
Oh, I'm so excited!
So the first thing you're going to need is some water, but as a scientist, I have a special liquid, methylated spirits. Then we have our bike pump with a stopper on top, and we have a bottle that we are going to fill with our cloud.
Easy, so 3 materials. So Laura, what is the first step?
Well, the first step is going to be getting our liquid into our bottle. At home, you'll be able to use water because water does evaporate. But as a scientist, like I said, I have that volatile liquid, methylated spirits, that wants to evaporate. I'm going to add some of our methylated spirits into our bottle where we can cap it with our stopper. So let's add in those drops now. Down the bottom she goes. So all we need to do is pop our stopper airtight in top of the bottle. Now, Pri, have you got your muscles ready?
I've got them ready.
I'm going to need you to use those big muscles to pump air into our bottle. Let's get it going.
All right.
My bottle is already filled with air, but as Pri pushes more in, we have air particles pushing and rubbing, causing friction, creating heat. We have pressure building up inside that bottle. That heat is starting to evaporate that liquid. And when Pri's got it pumped all the way up, let's have a look at the bottle to rapidly release that pressure and... Wow, check that out, Pri.
That was amazing.
You just made your very own cloud in a bottle.
Oh my goodness.
How amazing.
That is so cool.
In front of our very eyes. And that's repeatable. You can do it over and over again. Adding in some more pressure, rapidly releasing it. You're going to see that cloud appear over and over again.
Amazing, Laura. That is so cool. Thank you so much for that explanation.
No worries at all. Let's get into our next question.
Hi, my name is Donald. Why I exploded so loud?
Whoa! That explosion was so loud, Laura.
Wow, that was so loud. And well, we can actually find out why explosions are so loud using science. Well, first off, what is sound? Sound, we need 2 things to be able to sense. 1, we need vibrations, and 2, we need air. If I were to knock on my table here, you can hear that sound because my hand is making the table vibrate. Then those vibrations travel through the air. That air smacks into more air, and then into more air, and then into more air, until it gets to your ears where you're sensing that sound. So the more vibrations, the louder that sound.
That makes total sense, Laura.
And we have an experiment here today to show us those vibrations in action.
Let's do it.
To learn about sound, we're going to need the amazing singing rod. Priscilla, if I were to ask you to make this rod sing, would you be able to do it?
Oh dear. Okay. Sing. All right. I actually have no idea.
Well, if we know that sound is vibrations, we're going to need to make this rod vibrate, which means I'm actually going to need another secret material. We're going to need to have some rosin. Now, violinists, they use rosin on their bows when they're playing their instrument. This rosin is going to help increase friction, a rubbing force that's going to help us create some vibrations that's going to make our rod sing. So first off, I'm going to need to put some of this rosin on my fingers, making my fingers grippy but slippery at the same time. Priscilla, the rod please.
Yes, okay, over
Thank
to you.
Then all I need to do is use my fingers to strum the rod, make it vibrate. Let's listen out to see if we can sense a sound. Let's see if we can make it louder and louder and louder and louder. But then, as soon as those vibrations stop, so did the sound. So we now know for sure vibrations are what help us cause sound. If we want to know why an explosion is so loud, well, it just has to do with how many vibrations are traveling through the air. And that, boys and girls, is why we sense so many loud noises.
Laura, that is amazing! The sound of Science Explained.
But you guys at home, you wanted to know about the sound of explosions. So as a scientist, I can do this safely. Let's get into it.
Oh, Laura, I love balloons!
Well, we've got balloons here today because we're celebrating National Science Week. And well, my balloon here, it's not filled with helium. It's actually filled with the most reactive gas that I have access to. The fuel of the future, hydrogen. If we're going to be exploring the sound of explosions, as a scientist, I have access to some pretty cool materials that we can make this balloon go kaboom. But Priscilla, I'm going to need to get safety conscious to get this working. So I'm going to need you to duck out of the studio for a second. Let's get this ready.
Yes, ma'am!
And safety first. Always got to make sure we're being safe when we're doing science. We've got our fire extinguisher on standby, but if we're going to make this explosion, we're going to need some fire. So let's get the help of my flamethrower. Alrighty, let's get some fire. And a countdown going from 3, 2, 1. How cool was that, boys and girls? A real life explosion. But I can make this even better for you. Let's change the color of that hydrogen by adding in some copper. Now don't forget, kids, do not try this at home. Leave it up to the trained science professionals like me. Don't worry, Priscilla, you're in safe hands. But let's get over here to another hydrogen balloon that I have added some copper to. On the inside of this balloon, we can see tiny little droplets of liquid. Now, that contains our copper. Now, the copper is going to excite our hydrogen in a new way, but we're going to need to add the fire to get this happening. So, let's get it ready and see what happens when we light this balloon on fire. All right, safety first. Get on those safety glasses. So I'm going to need to have my handy dandy flamethrower and our fire. Let's get this one lit and ready for another kabam. In 3, 2, 1. Wow! Check out that amazing green light. Copper, when it mixes with oxygen, also changes color. How cool was that? But I've got one more that's even better. Let's end our explosions with a little sparkle. So the secret to our sparkle actually is some solid material on the inside of our hydrogen balloon here. We have some iron filings. I'm not going to spoil the surprise though. Let's get ready to light this one. So firstly we need our flamethrower. Then we're going to also need our fire. So let's get ready for that countdown in 3, 2, 1. Amazing! Check out that sparkle. How cool is that? Celebrating National Science Week here at the Street Science Studios. But Priscilla, it's all safe for you to come back now. Come on in, let's get into our next question.
My name is Harriet. How do germs spread?
Let's get that UV light on. Now that it's on, we can see those germs glowing under that light. We can see that on our table here, everything's lovely and clean until an unsuspecting sneeze comes along. Phew! Now, if we have a look at my hand, it doesn't look like much is there. It looks a little bit wet, but under the UV light, we see all of those germs are glowing. Of course, this is the time where we would need to wash our hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. But sometimes we forget and we start moving around, touching things as we go. If I forget to wash my hands and I go into the kitchen, I start cooking in the kitchen. Uh-oh, we have germs now all through the kitchen. I'm going to use that bowl now. I'm going to pop it over on the sink, place it with some of my other dishes, and all of a sudden, my germs from my hand are now in the kitchen all over the benches. But Priscilla, what if I asked you to come into the kitchen to help me out? I'm going to need you to pick up that bowl for me and place it over the other side. And now all of a sudden, we have our germs all through the house, just as quickly as that. Germs are able to spread when they contact other surfaces, just like my two hands did just then. Underneath the UV light, we can see that germs are spreading from contact with one object to another. But there's one very simple way that we can combat the spread of these germs. Priscilla, do you think you know what the answer to that one might be?
I think I do, everybody. You gotta wash, wash, wash those hands. But Laura, how long do we need to wash our hands for?
Of course, to get all of those germs down the drain where they need to go, you've got to wash your hands together with soap for 20 seconds. That's the happy birthday song 2 times. Once you've washed your hands, you need to dry them, but what do we need to do with the paper towel? Picking up that paper towel to dry your hands down. But this paper towel needs to make its way into the bin because guess what? Germs from your hand that you've just cleaned could be in that paper towel. Let's have a look. Whoa! That paper towel is packed full of germs. So making sure this one goes in the bin to keep me, my family, my community safe. There we go, clean as a jelly bean. But now we're ready for our final question. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Irene. The question for today is, why can I sometimes see the moon during the day?
I mean, it's true because we've got the sun and we've got the moon in the sky, but then it's the daytime and how are they all there at the same time? Laura, I need you again.
To the rescue! Well, the moon in the middle of the day, that's a bit of a curious thing. Well, we need to start by thinking about why we can see the moon at night. We see the moon at night because it acts like a mirror reflecting the light from the sun. So at nighttime, we're actually seeing the light from the sun being reflected off the moon. So sometimes in the middle of the day, the moon is in a perfect position in the sky to be able to reflect enough light from the sun that is bright enough that it overshines the brightness from the day, enabling us to be able to see it during the day in the sky. Simple as that. All we need to know is that the moon reflects the light from the sun.
Well, Laura, that explanation made so much sense and it was even illuminating. Well, guys, we hope you've enjoyed those 3 science experiments. Happy National Science Week and massive thank you to our amazing resident scientist, Laura.
Thank you so much for watching along, everybody at the Queensland Children's Hospital, and for all of those tuning in from Juiced TV. It's been heaps of fun and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.